Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dustin Nulf with Keller Williams Realty's the Dustin Nulf team and the Full House LLC Pittsburgh Property Management. How are we all doing? Welcome back. It's good to see you. It's good to hear from you. If you would like to say hi, please do so in the comments below. Please give us a thumbs up if you like my content, and hit subscribe below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, and we will keep providing some great content for you. So today I'd like to talk about the 5 myths that brokers like to tell their agents about teams. And I, as a team leader or lead agent of a team, I run into this more and more. So as a lead agent, I've got to recruit agents onto my team, talk to agents about how my team works, and hopefully they're a good fit for the team and we like each other and they join up with the team. However, throughout the years, I've noticed as I've talked to agents that a lot of times their brokers or their managers are kind of telling them things and whispering things into their ears about teams and why they shouldn't join up with a team, and those things that they're being told aren't necessarily true for most teams, especially nowadays. So we're going to look at that today. I appreciate you joining us. Stay tuned and we'll talk about the 5 myths or the 5 lies that brokers are telling you about teams. Okay, so as I said, I'm running into constantly now. Some of these old school brokers have been kind of buzzing around their agents and telling their agents about, reasons why they shouldn't join a team. And I'm coming across 5 big lies or misconceptions out there, or misinformation even, that these brokers are telling their agents in order to keep them from talking to teams or even researching how the teams work. And it's funny to me because usually when something like this starts happening and becomes more prevalent, it means there's something going on, there's a shift in the market. And what I feel is happening is really the real estate market is really seeing a dramatic change, right? Like we've got companies like Zillow, Trulia, and Redfin coming out there where they are lead generating and they're creating leads, and they don't necessarily own brick and mortar brokerages. So it looks like what their intent is to lead generate and sell those leads to agents to begin with, and then once they got the agents hooked, they're going to come in and say, hey, you need to join the Zillow team if you want to continue getting leads from us, and only our team members will get those leads from this point forward. So I think that's where real estate's heading on the kind of virtual side of things or the tech side of things. The other avenue is you're seeing teams start to expand on a national level. And because of the technology that's available right now with companies like Keller Williams Realty and eXp Realty, we've got agents that are crossing state borders, and some agents are like halfway through the country already. So these teams are growing, and they're growing relatively rapidly. And the thing is what these teams are offering essentially is the same split or better than you can get it from an old school brokerage, but they're giving you more stuff on the back end, right? They're helping you with marketing, they're helping you with branding, they might be doing administrative support, they might be working your lead through to the closing, working through transaction coordination and listing coordination, scheduling showings for you and things like that. So these teams are now competing with the old school brokerages, and I think that they are scared. And usually the first sign that they are scared is that they're going to start fibbing about what their competition is doing and trying to keep their agents from leaving for that competition. So let's look at it. We're going to look at the 5 myths that brokers are telling about teams. So myth number 1 is the team gets all the credit and the agents on the team get none. Okay, how many of you have heard that one? If you've heard that one, give me a thumbs up or comment in the comments and let me know. Or if you've heard a variation of that, I'd love to hear the variation of that. So the team gets all the credit and the agent gets none. Nothing could be more incorrect there as far as that goes. Most of the teams that I know teams not only within the Allegheny County and Pittsburgh metro area, but I've also networked with and talked to teams in other states and other locations. And in most cases, those teams, a lot of them are going to run the volume through the lead agent on the MLS, but there's going to be internal tracking within their brokerage and within their team for the volume, sales, and units that their individual agents do. And then those agents actually get rewards and awards within the team and within their local brokerage. So I'm not sure where this idea came from. Maybe it's because the MLS data a lot of times is going to be run under the lead agent, but in most cases, the agents that are working for the team are getting rewards and awards from within their brokerage and within their team structure. All right, so myth number 2, it's the team owner's name on all the signs and you don't get any publicity. This is a good one because real estate agents have really big egos, right? If you've ever run into a real estate agent with a really big ego, like raise your hand, right? Like we've all run into big egos. I have a big ego sometimes, and I'll admit it. Real estate agents love publicity, and we love having our name and our face on everything. And this is one that really seems to scare agents away. Oh no, the team leader, the team's name is going to be on the sign, and my name's not going to be on the sign. Well, that is absolutely absurd. I do not know one team that operates that way. Every agent on our team is allowed to put their name rider on the sign, and they can put their cell phone right underneath it. Yes, the team's name is on the sign, just like the broker's name's on the sign. When you work for a broker, you're essentially working for a team. A brokerage operates the same way. The only difference from working with a broker and working with a team is that the team is within the brokerage. So in most states, you have to legally name the broker and the team, and then the listing agent can be named on the sign as well. Now, every team's different. There may be some teams that do not allow their agents to have their name on the sign. However, most of the teams that I've run into, and my team in particular, our agents can have a name rider on it. They can have their cell phone underneath. They can have whatever contact information they want underneath that sign, hanging on name rider, just like anybody else. So the only difference between a team and a brokerage when it comes to signage mostly is that there's 2 names on the sign instead of 1. Okay. And the other thing I tell our agents is, by all means, I want your name and your cell phone on your listing because you know more about that listing than anybody else. I would prefer that you get calls directly to your cell phone on your listing. Okay, myth number 3, the third lie that you're told from your brokers about real estate teams. The splits are horrible. You won't make any money on a team. How many of you heard that one? The splits are horrible. You won't make any money on a team. Now, the funny thing is that agents seem to operate with very little to no background in business or ability to or mindset to calculate their net income and focus on a business plan. What's more important, having a 90% split or netting $100,000 a year? Well, if you're on the 90% split and you only net $10,000 a year, I mean, which would you rather have? The 90% split or the $100,000? The whole deal between being on a team versus not being on a team has nothing to do with splits. It has to do with time leverage, building a business, tapping into systems, tools, checklists, administrative support, marketing support, advertising support. You tap into that when you tap into a team. That's what you should be getting from a team. And what happens is now you don't have to spend time on that stuff. So you should be able to take that smaller split, that smaller number, and turn it into more on the bottom line, right? So that is the ideal of a team. That's why a team should be more efficient, and that's how a team should function. So the splits are horrible. Who cares about a split? Focus on what you're going to net at the end of the year, what your net profit is going to be, and how much time you're going to have to invest in your business in order to get to that net profit. Okay? And so, would you rather have 1% of Apple or 100% of, ABC Realty? Right? 1% of Apple. I'll take that any day. Myth number 4. All a team does is give you leads and overcharge for them. The team supplies no additional support other than lead generation. Now, unfortunately, that is sometimes true depending on which team you're talking to or what team exactly we're talking about. I have seen a lot of agents out there who do very well in business on their own, and the first thing that they do is they say, I'm gonna build a team because I'm so good at this. I'm gonna build a team. And they start bringing on agents and they recruit agents and they say, I'm going to teach you how to do this, and I'm going to give you a 50% split, and I'm going to generate leads for you. And then that's what they do. And there's no administrative support, there's no advertising or marketing. They're just giving leads to the agents, and they teach them a little bit on how to close the deals and how to do it, but they're just lead generating. Well, the thing is that those agents that join those teams, because they're not getting any other support or services, and they're giving away half their commission, what they end up doing is they look at it and they think, man, I'm giving this guy half of my commission, and all he's doing is giving me leads at this point. Like, I'm not getting anything out of this relationship besides leads. So why don't I just move to 100% brokerage, pay for my own leads through Zillow or Trulia or whatever the hell I want to pay for, and then I don't have to split with this guy anymore, and I can take home 90 to 100% of my commission. And then that team becomes a revolving door and just cycles through agents because there's no value that's actually keeping the agents there once they get their feet on the ground and learn what they're doing. So that is unfortunately how some teams operate. I learned that the hard way because that's kind of what I tried to do as well. I had no administrative support for our agents. And what I ended up doing was realizing that there's got to be more value there, right? Like most agents, the good agents want to sell real estate and be with people. They do not want to be sitting at a desk doing paperwork and trying to figure out how to market a house, what sort of ad copy to write and where to put the ad copy. They don't want to be sitting typing on a computer for 5-6 hours a day doing administrative work. So the idea of how our team functions is that we want to do at least 80% of their work for them so they can be out there selling houses and selling real estate and doing the thing that they love best and making money constantly, as opposed to making money and then stopping and having to do administrative work for 80% of your day and then going back to making money and going on this like roller coaster of constantly making money and then struggling because you got to generate leads again and do all this administrative work and transaction coordination and listing coordination and whatever. So that's the ideal, situation of a team, is that there is some sort of foundation or backing and backup for those agents that they're getting for the split that they're paying in. So myth number 5 is that not only will you not make any money on this team, but the lead agent makes all the money. And we already talked about making money and comparing your split to your net profit. What we want to look at now is, how does the lead agent make all this money, right? The lead agent's making all the money. All this money you're splitting, you may be splitting 50% goes to the lead agent or 40% goes to the lead agent. Well, in actuality, like a team that's actually run like a business, our agents might be paying us 40, 50, 30% of their closed gross commission. That goes to the team. It doesn't go to me. Like, I wish I were just putting all this money in my pocket, but that's not the way a business works. The money goes to the business. In the operating account. The operating account pays for all of the cool things that our agent gets. So the CRM, the IDX, the administrative support, the marketing, the advertising, the coaching, and the time that I invest in following up with our agents and teaching our agents how to fill out contracts, how to sell more real estate, how to grow their business. That's what that money ends up paying for. And really at the end of the day, so what they've found, and I say they, Keller Williams Realty's done a lot of research on teams, and Gary Keller in particular, if you read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, and some of the research that's been done after that, these teams, like the model is that a team should be able to net 40% of what they bring in. And that's all well and good, but as these teams have grown and as real estate has changed over time, what we've found is that when you hit like that mid-level, like when you're doing 10, 20, 30, even up to $40 million, $40 million in volume, the teams are actually netting like maybe 20%. Okay, so and that's the team owner seeing profit from the at the end of the day after all the bills are paid. So the team leader might be pulling 50% on average from their agents, and that's going into that operating account, but they're only netting maybe 20% of that. And I can tell you from experience, I'm netting 18% of that. So, if you think the team leader or the lead agent is making all this money, that is not necessarily the case. If they're going to offer support and services, they got to pay for the support and services. And they got to coordinate that. I've got to interview people. When we hire a new admin or somebody to support us, I've got to interview people. I've got to screen them. The last time we interviewed people, I interviewed over 200 people to hire 2 positions. So that's the thing that people don't seem to think about when they're looking at getting into a team, and they're thinking that this lead agent's going to be taking home all this cash. And that's another value proposition for an agent to possibly want to join a team, right? Like if you're an agent and you're doing, let's say, $10 million in sales on your own, and you want to grow and you want to do more business, but you don't want to deal with hiring and firing and training and creating systems and finding new marketing ploys and new advertising and teaching all this stuff to your new hires and dealing with new hires, and you just want to hit the gas pedal, you might want to join a team. Because if the team's got that stuff down, all you do is plug into it, and now all of a sudden you've got more time on your hands. Well, if you got more time on your hands, you can pick up more deals if you want to. So if you wanted to double your business, now you've got 80% more time on your hands. Do you think you could double your business if you had 80% more time on your hands? Probably. You could double your business and then spend more time on vacation if you wanted to. So that's one thing to think about if you're looking at, does this lead agent make all this money? The lead agent's making money, yeah, that's the whole point. But it's supposed to be a win-win. What can you get out of it? Have you looked into your time investment? Have you looked into how much more money you could make if you were leveraging the systems, the tools, and the advertising and the back-end support that you'd get from a team? So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to pay attention to more of our content and videos that will be popping up. And for those of you who follow me for investing strategy and investor information, I will at some point in the near future get you guys kind of a before and after, like a breakthrough or a breakdown of one of my probably a single family home deal that I'm working on, so you can see, from start to finish, the property that we bought and what we've done to it and how we got the extra value out of it and how we were able to pull money back out of it. So we actually, out of the money we invested, we were actually able to pull all of that out and then some, $15,000 to $20,000 extra in equity, where we'd actually make 15 to 20 grand in equity. We get paid a commission on the front end, and then now we have a property that we're holding on to that's netting about $100 a month per unit. So if it's a single family, we look for $100 a month in net income. And if it's a multifamily, let's say a 4-unit, we want $400 a month in net income. So we will look at one of those deals at some point in the near future, and I appreciate you guys sticking in and hanging around for that. So good seeing you. See you again soon.